hurt, the people I've done wrong, people I've done things to, and I felt like I owed them. And if I couldn't go back and give lives back or go back and give people that time back, then what I could do is serve. Serve as much as I can. Serve as much as I can in terms of doing better to help somebody else.
And so that was in a real sense of passion with you, that
Yes,
you
sir.
wanted to go out and in spite of what others might say in terms of, or in spite of the doubts that people might have had in reference to your sincerity and et cetera, you kept on pushing anyway because there was some kind of passion that that drove you. Is that what you're telling us?
Very much so. It's the passion. You know, it's thinking about the movie Passion of Christ. You know, it's just the passion, man. I mean, Christ had a passion for people, you know, regardless. His purpose in the passion, his passion in his purpose. It was just, he had a passion for people, you know. And the thing is, I have a passion for people. I have a passion for our children, especially our youth, you know. But I have a passion for people, period, all around. I want to see my brothers get along. I want to see my sisters get along. I want to see love happen. I want to see brothers and sisters loving each other. You know, this is something that I want to see, even though I know it's hard. But when I do see it, I smile. When I see an older couple that's been together for 40, 50 years, I'm happy about that, because that makes me feel as though me and my rib will make it that long. You know, that gives us a sense of it can happen, even though you see all these divorces happen, you know. So yeah, it's the passion for people, because I want to see good things happen. I'm tired of seeing the nonsense. I just want to see God's promise. I want to know when I leave here that God has said, well done, thy good and faithful servant. And that's what I'm looking forward to. That's what I'm looking forward to.
And so you came up, you have this idea of going from, you talk often of from what? From prison to pulpit, the worst situation that you could possibly find in a closed society, and et cetera. Now moving into a situation where you not only are free, but you have, in a real sense, real wings, because you're now under the wings of Jesus Christ. Is that under some kind of spiritual wing? Is that what you're saying?
Now, and I'm so happy you said that, Dr. Haney. One thing when I say that, it's not that we're just getting out of bondage, okay? But at the end of the day, it's still almost like being in prison. Why? Because you're serving people that are there. Sometimes they might persecute you. And sometimes we look at, when we get out of a situation, or we came out the world, that when we get into the Word, that we won't be persecuted anymore, or we won't be criticized, or we won't be judged. That's when it really happens. You know, that's when it really happens, is once we step into the pulpit, or once, not even just being stepping in the pulpit, just in the mindset of Christ. Once we become a Christian, we become a new creature, we get criticized, we get persecuted, and now we have to understand those challenges come. That's what I mean by, it don't have to just be the prison to the pulpit, it can be from the prison to the pew. At the end of the day, you have to realize that as a Christian, you're going to get criticized. And if you're not getting criticized, you're not getting persecuted, then maybe you're not doing something right. So that's what I'm learning in this walk. So when we talk about from the prison to the pulpit, that's just my plight. But there's other people that went from prison to the pew, and they're wondering every day, why am I still going through this mess? Why are people still hating me? Why is people still hating on me? Why people think I'm that backstabber, that liar, that I'm not anymore? Why am I still fighting this fight? It's because at the end of the day, Jesus fought the same fight for us. And we tend to think that since Jesus did it, we don't have to.
Okay, and so Mr. Rayford, can you, in a real sense, think in terms of leaving a message to young people who might be involved in whatever kind of situation and who might be incarcerated coming out? What are some of the words of encouragement? We've got about a minute and a half. What are some of the words of encouragement that you can leave with them? Because it would appear to me that they need encouragement. If you go to the court system, you see what's going on, et cetera, they don't have any kind of encouragement down there. And so what can you say, being a person who has been incarcerated, now liberated, and et cetera? Speak to that for the next minute and a half.
Okay. I would like to say, allow your discouragement to be your encouragement. Things that discourage you, allow that to encourage you to do better. Things that were meant to break you down, allow that to lift you up. You might say, how? Well, you know what I've learned? Why worry when you can worship? Instead of worrying about things, worship God and see that it works for you. I promise you it'll work for you. I know, because I've tried it. I'm trying it. I'm trying it even daily, day in, day out. Don't get it twisted. I'm in a position now that I am doing a lot better. Now, here's the thing. It doesn't get any easier, but it gets better. It's much better. I'm not looking over my shoulder anymore. I'm not running anymore. I'm not fighting anymore. You know, God is fighting my battles for me. And that that if I can't give you any other words of encouragement, that's it. Just be blessed, be encouraged, be inspired, and be motivated daily.
And you think that those are words that come from the lips of a man who's been there, and now has had an experience, and in spite of everything, this is it's a terrific experience. And let me thank you for bringing that information. Let me encourage our audience to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Comments. Thank you and good morning.